There we go.
This is how dying from every deadly infectious disease feels like. Rabies. Imagine you're walking home one evening when a stray raccoon suddenly spawned in front of you. It's moving strangely slow and stumbling, and its mouth is drooling. Before you can step back, it jumps and bites your left forearm. You pull away, wash the wound at the sink with soap and water, and within a week, the wound is barely visible. A month passes, then another. You forget about it entirely. Then one morning, you feel
Before we continue this, I gotta tell you something. Okay, look, like last year, I was so mentally fucked up that I was traumatized with fucking rabies virus shit. The thing is that I saw so many videos on online. The thing is that what happened? Look, I got so many cats, okay, like dogs and cats, but I don't got that. I know most of the like they are there just because of they have some disease, but not the fucking rabies. Nope, it's a different one. But they didn't buy me, they didn't do anything. The thing is that they were playing with me and one cat literally fucking scratched me. But it's not even that fucking deep scratch. You know, when someone scratch you, it start bleeding. But that time that didn't even scratch. And I was like, yo, you know what, it's fine. Whatever. And like after 2 days, I saw fucking video about like a one kid, like a small guy. He was like 10 or 15 years old and he got fucking rabies and I was so scared, Che. I'm not gonna lie. I started I started getting dreams and all that. I was like, yo, what the fuck? And my mental health so fucked up so bad. For like 2 days, I started like every time I was looking at, oh shit, is that a fucking death scratch? Death scratch? And then I went to fucking hospital, Che. I consult with some doctors because it's like I was so fucked up from mentally. I was like, yo, doc, you gotta tell me what's going on. The thing is that
At 10 and
that
M.
shit.
Yeah, I already saw the rabies.
Yeah, rabies is I don't know about the other diseases, but the rabies is the only one disease that they should bring the fucking cure, boy. Because like rabies is like it's so fucking scary and I have phobia, okay, Che. It's like, I still got like two cats, but still I don't take them close to me because like I know it's not that big thing, Che. I know that if you get vaccinated, it's fine. But the thing is that I'm a guy who overthinks every fucking time, and I was so traumatized that time. You gotta see my face. That was so fucking scary as fuck. Yo,
At
I
10 and
was
M.
so scary, boy.
Bro
a tingling
raccoon
in
in
your
day
left
means
arm, right
rabies.
where the bite was.
Yeah, no, but that was not raccoon though. That was not a raccoon. That was fucking cats and dogs.
At 10 and
You
M.
can't get it.
Vaccine.
Yeah.
At 10 and M. Works.
Yeah, vaccine. Like it's the main thing you could need fucking knowledge about the vaccines. There are like so many vaccines, and not only the vaccines. I'm talking about one, but if you are like, let's say, if you went to hospital and somehow you don't know, like, let's say there's a one like the patient, or let's say your family member, and there's a like a fucking needle or something, and it's somehow you got a fucking scratch or you got like the needle stick injury, okay? If somehow you got that and if you ignore that, you should not ignore that, okay? Because HIV and hepatitis B are the virus, they will fuck you up, boy.
You assume it's nothing serious, but a few days later, you got a fever, and then a restless, uncomfortable feeling
Oh
you
my
can't shake
God.
out no matter how much you rest. What you don't know is that the rabies virus has been crawling up your nerves this whole time, around 12 to 100 millimeters a day, totally invisible, with zero symptoms. And by the time you feel that tingle, the virus has already reached your brain. Once it's there, things get bad fast. The virus attacks the part of your brain that controls your emotions, your behavior, and your basic body functions like swallowing and breathing. Your
It's just like it's literally work. The rabies is just like a fucking zombie virus. Rabies is the fucking worst shit.
family
dog.
rushes you to the hospital. Then a nurse brings you a glass of water and holds it to your mouth. The second the water touches your lips, your throat locks up in a violent spasm. This is called hydrophobia, which literally just means fear of water. But it's not actually fear. It's just your brain misfiring that made your reflex go
Bitch, don't give me fucking ass or I will fuck your ass, boy. I'm watching something serious right now. Fuck.
haywire. And it's not just the water that does it. Even a small breeze blowing across your face can trigger the same full body seizure. On top of that, because of those spasms, you can't even swallow your own spit. It just constantly pulls in your mouth. The virus actually takes over your salivary glands on purpose. Rabies spreads through saliva, so flooding your mouth is how it makes sure the next victim gets infected if you bite them. Your body is just a delivery system for the next infection. After that, Slowly, your muscles stop working altogether. The paralysis starts at your legs, then climbs up to your arms, then reaches your chest. Eventually, you lose control of your entire body, fall into a coma, and die within 2 to 10 days after the first symptoms showed up. But there is a way to stop rabies, but it only works if you act before symptoms start.
Yep.
If you get bitten by an animal and go to a doctor the same day you get bitten, they can give you a series of vaccine shots over the next few days.
Yeah,
Those
see, they're
shots
like
stop the
fucking
virus
three
before
shots. They're like 3 shots. One, you'll get the first shot at the day you got bit, then third and the seventh one.
it ever gets to your brain. That window between the bite and the first symptom is the only time medicine can save you. Once symptoms appear, there's nothing doctors can do. Ebola. You're an aid worker in West Africa. You've been
I don't know about the other viruses, but the rabies is kind of so fucked the virus, dog. See, I still got fucking chills. I never got bitten by any dog, cat, anything. I hope I will not get though, but still, it fucking sucks, chat.
there for 3 weeks, helping at a rural clinic. This morning, you
Getting scratched is also fucking, getting bite. So many people say if you get bite, that's why you should get vaccine. But if someone somehow you scratch, like let's say there's like a raccoon or fucking or like cat or anyone, and it somehow it scratch you, still you need vaccines, okay? If you're thinking like, oh, if it didn't bite, only it scratch you, no. If it scratch you, still you should get fucking vaccines, because every fucking time the animals I will lick their toes like that. So you need that because the virus is still there, boy,
woke up with a
and they will fuck you up.
headache. You take some painkillers, drink water, and assume it's the heat. But by afternoon, your whole body feels heavy. Even lifting your arms feels like too much effort. So the doctors run some tests, give you some medicine, and you rest. But none of it helps, because what you actually have is Ebola, and it's been quietly multiplying inside your body for 5 days already. Here's what it has been doing to you this whole time. Your blood vessels are basically long tubes that carry blood to every part of your body.
Like
And the
this,
inner
yeah.
walls of those tubes are lined with a thin layer of cells that keep everything sealed. Ebola hunts those lining cells down and destroys them. And as those cells die, small holes open up in the vessel walls.
Ayo.
Because of that, blood starts leaking out and your blood pressure begins to fall. At the same time, your immune system is trying to fight back. It sends out its defender cells to attack the virus. But Ebola does something that most viruses cannot do. It can possess the defender cells and take control of them. Those possessed cells then start flooding the body with
Ayo,
emergency
what the
signals.
heck?
Think of these signals like messages telling nearby blood vessels to relax and open up wider.
So this guy literally manipulate the whole system. Holy
Normally, this helps
fuck.
immune cells move around faster to fight an infection. But with Ebola, the signal never stops and happens everywhere at once. So the blood vessels keep opening more and more until they get so loose they can barely hold blood inside. For the first few days, you can still convince yourself this is just a bad fever. But around day 4 or day 5, something changed. You start throwing up. At first, just once or twice. But then it doesn't stop. Then comes the diarrhea, and together, they start draining your body of around 3 to 5 liters of fluid every single day. In the
Ayo,
worst
3 to
cases,
5?
up to 10 liters. You're losing water faster than anyone can put it back in. And that's only the stuff you can see coming out of you, because inside, there's something worse. With the vessel walls now destroyed throughout your body, your blood starts forcing its way out wherever it can find a gap, from your gums, your eyes, through needle puncture sites, and bleeding heavily from deep inside the gut. With that much fluid and blood gone, your blood pressure drops even more. Your kidneys need steady pressure to clean waste from your blood, so they start to fail. And after the kidneys, the liver follows them. Because Ebola also directly infects and kills your liver cells. Without the liver, your body can't make the proteins it needs to clot blood properly, so the bleeding just gets worse. Eventually, the combination of organs shutting down, fluids drained, and blood loss getting worse, your heart can't maintain enough pressure to keep going. Somewhere between 6 and 16 days after that first headache, your body finally gives out. But even the people who survive don't fully escape them. As one survivor put it, it ain't over even when it's over. Doctors call it post-Ebola syndrome. About 75% of survivors still deal with joint pain, headaches, muscle aches, blurred vision, and crushing fatigue. And studies show that even 5 years later, more than half of them still have these symptoms. The virus may be gone, but the damage stays. Bubonic plague.
Okay, Ebola is like it's how it's work. It's like if you get medicines and if you get immediate treatment, it's fucking treatable, chat. There fucking some treatment for Ebola. I'm not sure if there are because like I heard Ebola literally now Ebola virus is outbreak now in Africa. Holy shit, chat. You guys stay. Oh, I don't know how many subscribers I got from the South Africa. Guys, stay safe, okay?
Imagine you're living in Florence, Italy in the
Boy, why the fuck you guys give me fucking every fucking 2 minutes fucking ad, bitch?
spring of 1348. For months, people have been gossiping about a sickness coming in from the east. But Florence is one of the richest cities in the world, and nobody's going to stop their life over a rumor. So the markets stay open, and the streets stay crowded. Then one day you wake up with a fever and a strange lump under your armpit. By evening, that lump has swollen to the size of an egg. It's burning hot, and the pain is so bad you can barely move your arm. You have no idea that a flea bite you never even felt started all of this, and the flea brought tiny bacteria that outmaneuvered your entire immune system. The bacteria behind bubonic plague is called Yersinia pestis. See, when something harmful enters your body, your immune system immediately sends out destroyer cells to destroy the threat. But Yersinia pestis has a way around that. When one of those destroyer cells swallows the bacteria, instead of dying, the bacteria pulls out a set of tools to counter it. One tool injects a paralyzing chemical into the cell that switches it off before it can warn the rest of the body. Another tool wraps the bacteria in a kind of invisibility cloak, so other immune cells don't recognize it as a threat. So instead of being killed, the bacteria survive, multiply inside the very cell that was supposed to destroy them, and quietly spread deeper into the body without triggering any alarm. They eventually reach the nearest lymph node. It's basically a security checkpoint in your body that catches and destroys anything dangerous. But because the bacteria has already disabled so many of the immune system's warning signals on the way there, the lymph node doesn't realize how serious the situation is until the bacteria
Welcome to my channel.
are already multiplying inside it at full speed. The node swells up as it tries to desperately contain an infection that's already out of control. And the swelling is the bubo, that hot, egg-sized, agonizing lump under your arm. Your fever keeps climbing, the pain keeps growing, and your body has been losing this fight for days without you knowing. If nothing stops the bacteria here, they eventually break out of the lymph node and pour into the bloodstream. And that is where things become deadly. Once in the blood, the bacteria release poisons that cause the body to essentially panic and attack itself. Blood starts clotting in tiny vessels all throughout the body, while those same vessels are also leaking and bleeding at the same time, which cuts off the blood supply to many organs. The fingers go dark, the toes go dark, the nose goes dark. The tissue is dying because no blood is reaching it anymore, and it turns black right there on the living body. This is where the name Black Death comes from. The organs, overwhelmed and starved of proper blood flow, begin to shut down one by one, and death in untreated cases comes within 3 to 6 days of that first fever. Jesus. Without antibiotics, bubonic plague kills between 30 and 60% of the people it infects. If caught early with the right medication, most people survive. But without treatment, the time between the first fever and death hasn't changed in 600 years. Cholera. You're living in a crowded neighborhood in London in 1854. It's a hot summer morning. You drink a glass of water from the public pump down the street like you do every day, and you feel completely fine. But by afternoon, you feel a strange discomfort in your stomach. You make it to the toilet just in time, but an hour later, you're back again, then again after that. And by now, what is coming out of you doesn't look normal at all. It's watery and whitish, almost like the water left over from rinsing rice, and it absolutely doesn't stop. Turns out the suspects are a bacteria called Vibrio cholerae, and what makes it so uniquely scary is that it doesn't damage your body at all. There's no bleeding, no torn tissue, or anything like our previous entries. Instead, it releases a poison that gets inside the cells of your intestine and hijacks the switch that controls how much water moves through your gut. Those cells normally move water and salt in and out of your intestine in a careful, controlled way. But once that poison takes over, those cells start pumping water and salt out of your body non-stop. And they physically can't turn
That's actually fucking easy as fuck, chat.
off. Your
This is literally fucking good explanation though.
body just keeps draining and draining and draining. You could lose up to 1 liter of fluid every single hour, and up to 20 liters in a single day. To put that in perspective, your entire body only holds about 5 liters of blood. So you are losing 4 times your whole blood supply worth of fluid every day. And you're not just losing water. You're losing the minerals your muscles need to move and your heart needs to keep beating. And as those minerals disappear, you can feel it happening. Your legs start having cramps so painful they feel like the muscle is tearing. Then your stomach cramps so hard you curl over. And your mouth goes completely dry, and no matter how much you drink, you can't keep up with what you're losing. As the hours pass, the fluid loss starts changing how you look. Your eyes sink back into your head, your cheeks hollow out, and your skin loses its color and turns into a grayish hue, which is how cholera earned its old nickname, the Blue Death. And the longer it goes on, the worse you look. Your hands shrivel and wrinkle like you've been soaking in water for
Yo, my god, these guys are fucking stupid ass bitch. Shut the fuck up, boy. Get the fuck out, boy.
hours, even though you're dying of thirst. Your heart starts beating faster and faster, but your blood pressure keeps dropping because there isn't enough fluid in your veins. And once the pressure drops too low, your kidneys can't clean out your blood anymore, so they shut down. Then the rest of your organs start failing, one after another, until your heart finally gives out with nothing left to pump. In the worst untreated cases, someone can wake up completely healthy in the morning and be dead by the following night. But here's the wild part. Cholera is actually one of the easiest deadly diseases in the world to treat. All you need is clean water mixed with a little bit of salt and sugar, given fast enough to replace what the body is losing. That's it. A solution that costs less than $1 can pull someone back from the edge of death in hours. With that treatment, the death rate drops from over 50% to less than 1%. But that only works if you have access to it. And for millions of people living in war zones, refugee camps, and places where clean water doesn't exist, $1 worth of salt and sugar might as well be on the moon. Typhoid fever. Imagine you're a soldier sitting in a military camp during the American Civil War. One evening, you notice a slight fever. You take it easy, drink some water, and figure it'll pass. But the next morning, the fever is a little higher. The morning after that, higher still. And the thing is, this fever never goes back down. It just keeps climbing, a little more each day. And that pattern is so specific that doctors in that era could look at a fever chart and know exactly what they were dealing with. That disease is called typhoid. Typhoid is caused by a bacteria called Salmonella typhi that only infects humans. It spreads through contaminated food or water. And once you swallow it,
I study too sometimes. Yeah, it
survives the stomach acid that kills most other bacteria and slips into your small intestine. Now here's where it gets sneaky. When the bacteria enters your body, your immune system sends in its fighter cells to swallow them up. Normally that works perfectly, but Salmonella typhi has a trick. Instead of dying inside the fighter cell, the bacteria wraps itself in a tiny protective bubble, stays calm, and starts multiplying. Then it does something even more clever. It hitches a ride on that same fighter cell as it travels deeper into the body, all the way to the liver, the spleen, and the bone marrow. In other words, the bacteria is using your own immune system as a free taxi. And for the first 1 to 3 weeks, while all of this is happening deep inside your organs, you have no idea anything is wrong. But eventually, the bacteria multiply so much that the cells they're hiding in can't hold them anymore. The cells burst open, and all that bacteria floods into your bloodstream at once. That's when your body finally figures out how bad the situation is. And the fever that hits you, that's your immune system freaking out, pulling every alarm at once, trying to fight something that's already everywhere. By the second week, your stomach starts hurting badly and you can't eat. The lining of your intestines, which has been under attack this whole time, start developing open sores on the inside. And those sores begin leaking a foul-smelling greenish liquid that comes out as diarrhea. By the third week, the fever has been cooking your brain for nearly 20 straight days, and your mind starts to go. You become confused and stop making sense when you talk. You lie in bed completely still, staring at the ceiling, sometimes grabbing at things in the air that aren't there. The people around you are trying to talk to you, but you're barely aware they exist. And this is the point where typhoid most often kills. Either because one of those sores in your gut has finally eaten all the way through the intestinal wall, and everything inside your gut is now leaking out, or because your body has simply been fighting at full force for 3 straight weeks and has nothing left to give. Today, typhoid still infects around 9 million people every year and kills over 100,000 of them, almost all in South Asia and sub-Saharan Africa. There are antibiotics that can treat it, and they've been around since 1948, but the bacteria has been learning. Since 2016, strains in Pakistan has been resisting nearly every antibiotic we throw at it, and it has already spread to India, Bangladesh, the
Ayo.
Philippines, and beyond. There is a vaccine, but it's still not available in many of the places that need it most. AIDS. You're 23 years old, living in San Francisco in 1983.
This one is the worst
One
too,
morning,
chat.
you notice a dry
read
cough
something
that
articles
won't
about
go
this
away.
one.
You figure it's the weather. Over the next few months, life stays mostly normal. You go to work, you see your friends, you lose a little weight, but nothing alarming. But the cough never leaves. You get tired climbing stairs you used to take 2 at a time. And what you don't know is that a virus called HIV has been quietly destroying your immune system this entire time. Here's how it works. Your immune system runs on special cells called CD4 cells. Think of them as the generals of your body's army. They spot threats, call in backup, and run the entire defense. HIV works by finding those generals, breaks inside them, rewrites their DNA, and turns them into virus factories. They make those every new cell that grows from them carries the virus too, like this guy. For 8 to 10 years, the virus slowly wipes out your generals one by one, until no one is left to protect you. Your body is open to attack for every germ, fungi, and parasites you can find. Then one morning, you wake up and breathing starts to feel like trying to inhale through a wet sponge. Your lungs fill up with a fungal infection that a healthy body would have wiped out in hours. After that, your eyes start acting weird.
I'm coughing because it's fucking hot. No, it's
You see
cold.
small floating spots, and things look a bit blurry. It feels like the kind of problem you might blame on lack of sleep. But then your vision starts getting dark from the sides. Around the same time, the headaches begin. Then the seizures. Then come the moments where you cannot remember where you are, or even what year it is, because another infection has reached the brain. You also stop being able to absorb food properly. No matter how much you eat, the weight keeps dropping. Your muscles slowly gone. Fever becomes constant instead of coming and going. Basically, every disease starts hitting at once, because your protective barrier is broken down, and there's nothing left to hold these infections back. For over 40 years, HIV and AIDS killed
44.1 million, chat. You gotta be kidding me though. That's why you should do sex, but with protective.
1 million people around the world. In 1996, doctors figured out a combination of drugs that could keep the virus under control, and deaths in the United States dropped by nearly half in just 1 year. But even those drugs don't kill the virus. They just hold them back. And as
scientists and doctors, for me as a god, chat, I'm telling you, like it's like obviously we believe in God, but the thing is that when someone discovers something that's like literally related to everyone, that guy is like a god, dog. I'm telling you.
As of today, there is still
Scientists
no
are crazy
cure.
as fuck, man.
Hantavirus pulmonary syndrome. Imagine
This one, chat, the one that recently we saw
you've had
on
a
cruise.
flu for about 4 days. Fever, muscles, aches, the whole thing. You figure it'll pass. Then one morning you wake up and something feels different. Your chest is tight. You take a deep breath, but it doesn't feel like enough. You try again harder this time, and it still feels like the air isn't reaching where it needs to go. Within a few hours, you're coughing, gasping, and no matter how hard you breathe, your body is starving for oxygen. This is hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, and it starts with something as small as a mouse. The deer mouse, specifically. If you happen to sweep out a shed, clean a cabin, or disturb an area where infected mice have left behind poop, urine, or saliva, the tiny particles can float into the air, and then you breathe them in without even noticing. The virus lands deep in your lungs, infects the cells there, and then spreads through your bloodstream to the walls of your lungs' tiniest blood
Holy
vessels.
fuck.
For the first 3 to 5 days, it feels like nothing more than a bad flu. You get a high fever, painful aching in your thighs, hips, back, and shoulders, and your whole body feels heavy. Most people go to the doctor during this phase, get told it's probably nothing serious, and go home to rest. And the reason it gets so bad so fast is because of what the virus has been doing to your blood vessels this whole time. Most viruses that attack blood vessels do it by ripping them apart. This one doesn't. Think of the walls of your blood vessels like a brick wall held together by mortar. What this virus does is dissolve the mortar. The bricks are still there, but now there are gaps between every single one of them. So now the liquid part of your blood starts leaking through those gaps and pouring into your lungs. In the worst cases, up to 8 liters of fluid can flood in and around the lungs, piling up at a rate of up to 1 liter per hour. And it's not just your lungs that are giving out. The virus goes after your heart too. When doctors examine the hearts of patients who didn't survive, They found the virus had gotten inside the heart muscle itself and started damaging it from within. So while your lungs are flooding and you can barely breathe, your heart is also getting weaker and weaker, losing its ability
So
to
this
pump
one,
blood.
chat,
And
the
once both your lungs
hantavirus,
and
holy
your heart
shit.
start failing at the same time, it can go fast. In the most severe cases, patients die within 1 to 2 days after the lung flooding begins. As of 2026, there's no vaccine for hantavirus. There's no drug that can treat it. If you catch it,
Ayo.
all doctors can do is put you on a ventilator, try to keep your blood pressure from collapsing, and hope your body is strong enough to fight it off on its own. Polio bulbar form. Imagine you're a 6-year-old kid in Dallas, Texas, in the summer of 1952. You've been playing outside all day, running through sprinklers and chasing your friends. By the evening, your throat is sore. You have a mild fever and your legs are aching. Your mom puts you to bed early. For 2 days, it feels like a summer cold. Then, on the third morning, you try to swallow your orange juice and it won't go down. The muscles in your throat just don't respond. You try to call for your mom, but your voice comes out weak and squeezed. By the afternoon, you can feel your own chest slowing down, and each breath takes more effort than the last. This is bulbar polio. The virus entered through your mouth days ago, multiplied in your throat and gut, slipped into your bloodstream, and crossed into your brainstem, the part of your brain that controls automatic movement like swallowing, speaking, muscles in your face, and breathing. One by one, the virus destroys the nerve cells that
That's
run these
crazy as
functions,
fuck.
and they don't grow back. What makes this form of polio terrifying is how it acts. It wipes out the nerves that let you move, but it doesn't touch the nerves that let you feel. So you can feel the spit rising in the back of your throat and understand that you're choking on it. You can feel your chest getting heavier and know that your lungs are failing. Doctors at the time described patients as drowning in their own saliva and mucus while being fully conscious and aware the entire time. Imagine being 6 years old and you fully realize you can't scream, you can't move, and you are slowly losing the ability to breathe.
gotta be dead,
Back in the
Chad.
1950s, there was no cure. The best doctors could do was perform a surgery on your throat called a tracheotomy and places you inside a metal cylinder called an iron lung. It was a sealed tube that used air pressure to force your chest open and closed to make your lungs breathe. But even with the iron lung, the death rate for bulbar polio patients was over 90%. Later, in 1952, doctors in Copenhagen invented a better machine called a positive pressure ventilator, and that brought the death rate down from 90% to about 20%. One real boy went through exactly this. His name was Paul Alexander. He was placed in an iron lung at 6 years old and never breathed on his own again. He lived inside that machine for 72 years. He taught himself a technique called frog breathing, so he could leave it for short periods and use that freedom to earn a college degree, a law degree, and pass the bar exam. He died in March 2024 at 78.
You telling me that guy learned how to fucking do like the frog technique and he got masters and oh
years
my
old.
god!
Today, polio is nearly gone. A vaccine by Jonas Salk in
Holy
1955
shit.
dropped polio cases by 90% within a decade. And if someone does get bulbar polio now, modern ventilators and intensive care give them a much better chance than the iron lung ever did. But if the virus reaches your brainstem,
This shit pissing me off, Chad.
the nerve damage it does still can't be fixed. Tetanus. You're pulling apart an old wooden fence in your backyard on a Saturday.
Before we start, I gotta tell you one thing about this vaccine, like the virus, tetanus. Look, tetanus. Look, listen. Your name is tetanus, and the virus is tetanus. Okay, there's a fucking difference. So look, every year, no matter what, you should take the fucking vaccine. Okay, if you get hurt or not, just take the fucking virus, like the vaccine. I always do that.
When a rusty nail punches
Yep.
through your skin. It bleeds a little, hurts a little, but nothing serious. You rinse it off, wrap it up, and forget about it. But when that nail went in, it pushed dirt deep into the wound. And in that dirt, there were tiny seeds of a germ called Clostridium tetani. These seeds are everywhere. They sit in soil all over the planet, and they can survive there for years waiting. The one thing they need to wake up is a place with no air. And when a nail punches deep into your skin, the flesh closes right back up around the hole, trapping the dirt and sealing off the oxygen. That tiny pocket in your wound is the perfect spot for these germs to come alive. And once they wake up, they start releasing a poison so powerful that just 175 nanograms of it, a speck way smaller than a grain of sand, is enough to kill a full-grown adult. About a week later, you wake up and your jaw feels stiff. Not painful, just tight. You try to open your mouth wide and it barely moves. By evening, you can't open it at all. Your jaw has locked shut. And then you notice something scary in the mirror. Your face is frozen into a wide, rigid grin that you're not making. Your lips are pulled back over your teeth.
Damn.
And the muscles in your cheeks are rock hard. You couldn't relax your face at all. This is tetanus. And the reason your body is locking up is because that poison has been crawling up your nerves towards your spine this whole time. It took days to get there. But once it arrived, it started destroying the nerve cells whose only job is to tell your muscles to relax. So now your muscles get the signal to squeeze, and they never get the signal to stop. At first, it's your jaw. After that, the squeezing spreads down your neck, across your back, through your stomach, and into your arms and legs. Your whole body goes stiff like a wooden plank. And then comes the spasms. Any tiny thing can set them off. A loud sound, someone bumping your bed, a flash of light, even a breeze blowing across your skin. Your entire body muscles are squeezed so powerful.
So it's like let's say if it's like this, I'm like, okay, can you see me? Okay, it's like this, and like if someone say make like it, I will be like like that. Oh, what the fuck? That's fucking. You know that Michael Jackson? How you do that?
That it can crack the bones in your spine and rip muscles right off the bone. And the worst part is that the poison never touches your brain. You can think clearly the entire time. You feel every single spasm, every cracked bone, every torn muscle, and there is absolutely nothing you can do to stop any of it. Eventually, the poison starts messing with your automatic body functions. Your heart rate goes haywire, jumping between way too fast and dangerously slow. Your blood pressure rockets up and then crashes down. Adrenaline floods your body at up to 100 times the normal amount. Your heart, getting slammed by all of this nonstop, finally gives up and stops. The good news is there's a vaccine, but the bad news is that tetanus can never be completely gotten rid of. It lives in dirt everywhere on the planet, and even if you somehow survive it, your body won't build up any defense against it for next time. Because the amount of poison it takes to kill you is so small, your immune system never even notices it was there. The only thing keeping you safe is a shot you're supposed to get every 10 years. And if you're being honest with yourself, you probably don't remember when you got your last one.
I got last one last year, chat. I'm gonna get this year, like next month something, or let's say this month. You should get your fucking TTs. We say TT, chat, or because like say it's a 10 tenors, chat. There's a fucking 2T. That's why we say TT vaccines. But every year you should get fucking vaccine. You know, this guy say that 10 years. I'm saying every year, chat. It's not gonna hurt your body. One time, that doctor literally fucking dumbass. He literally put that shit inside not inside my eyes, but like you know, you can take the vaccines like one hair on your shoulder, like on your muscles, on your ass muscle. I took on my ass muscles. That shit started hurting so bad for 2 days. I couldn't sit properly, chair. Holy shit, I was like sitting like this, chair, every fucking time. So basically, he literally put that shit like right here, chair, like right here. He should, you know, I'm not gonna show you all. I will get fucking banned. But it's not that it's his fault. He was fucking old as fuck. I should not trust this doctor, chat. Sometimes I feel like I should put this shit like this, like just take that, like that. Ow!
Eating bacteria. Imagine you spent the weekend helping a friend clear brush near a creek. You scraped your leg on a rock. Nothing major, just a shallow cut below your knee. You rinsed it off, slapped a bandage on it, and forgot about it. But when that cut opened up, a bacteria got in. And they landed on a layer of tissue called the fascia, which is basically the wrapping that holds your muscles, nerves, and blood vessels all together. From the moment they landed there, the bacteria started eating through and spreading in that wrapping at up to 2 to 3 centimeters every hour. For the next 2 days, the wound hurts, but looks normal, so nothing worries.
Yo, this ad in my fucking YouTube fucking. I blocked this ad like 1,000 times. Ah, man, shut the fuck up, bitch.
But on the 3rd day, something changes. The pain gets worse, a lot worse, and it doesn't match what you're seeing. The skin around the cut looks a little red, a little swollen, but nothing that should hurt this much. It feels like something is burning deep under your skin. You go to the hospital. They tell you it's probably just inflammation and sends you home. Then the next morning, you wake up and your entire leg has changed color all the way up to your hip. This is necrotizing fasciitis.
Yup, that one.
And by now, the infection has had days of a head start. As the bacteria have been spreading, they release poisons that cause the tiny blood vessels in the area to clog up, like pipes getting blocked. Once those vessels shut down, blood can't reach the skin and muscle above them anymore. And if blood can't get there, the tissue just starts dying, and the dead zone keeps growing. Your skin goes from red to dark purple. Then blisters filled with blood start bubbling up on the surface. And sometimes it fools you, because as the tissue dies, so do the nerves inside it. The area that was screaming with pain suddenly goes quiet. You press on it and feel nothing. Your first thought is that you're getting better, but what actually happened is that the nerves are dead. And it gets even worse. Sometimes the bacteria behind this are the same germ that gives kids strep throat, just a far more dangerous version. Normally, when you fight off an infection, your body sends out a small team of cells to deal with it. But this germ tricks your body into sending almost its entire army all at once. And that army doesn't just go after the bacteria. It goes after everything nearby. Your blood pressure tanks. Your organs start shutting down one by one. So now the infection is destroying you from the outside. And your own immune system is destroying you from the inside at the same time. And the only thing that can stop any of it is surgery. And it has to happen fast. Healthy tissue is rough and firm. Infected tissue falls apart like wet paper. They can push a finger between your muscles, and it just slides right through. From there, the surgeon has to cut out every single piece of dead tissue they can find. And sometimes that means taking an entire arm or leg. Studies have shown that waiting just one day too long to operate makes you 9 times more likely to die. About 1 in every 250,000 people in the United States get this infection every year. Even with treatment, about 1 in 8 don't make it. And the reason the numbers are so brutal is simple. By the time anyone figures out what's actually going on under the skin, the infection has already had hours, sometimes days of a head start.
Damn, crazy as fuck. That'll be video, dog. Tantalum, thank you for telling me this shit. This fucking so good, dog. Holy fuck, that was crazy as fuck. I almost forget that we gotta fucking play a game.